Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer on Ronaldo's epic journey to 2002 glory. Today we're unpacking what has to be one of the most unbelievable hero's journeys in all of sports history. Seriously, it's got everything. A bizarre medical mystery, absolutely devastating injuries, and the ultimate redemption arc for the man they called Fenômeno. Let's get right into it.
But to truly understand the sheer magnitude of this triumph, we actually have to rewind to his darkest hour. We're going back to July 12th, 1998. It's the World Cup Final in Paris. Brazil is facing off against the host nation, France. Ronaldo is just 21 years old. He's already the undisputed best player on the planet and the heavy favorite to lift the trophy. But then, just hours before kickoff, something truly bizarre happens. While taking a nap in the team hotel, Ronaldo suffers an unexplained convulsion. Panic breaks out. He's surrounded by terrified teammates and doctors, rushed to the hospital for immediate neurological and cardiac tests, and just like that, a cloud of absolute mystery descends over the entire Brazilian camp.
What follows is just pure chaos. When the official team sheet drops, the world lets out a collective gasp. Ronaldo's name? It's missing. Edmundo is listed to start instead, but then, literally right before kickoff, a revised team sheet is rushed out, and Ronaldo is miraculously back on it. So he plays, but he's just a ghost of himself. He's wandering the pitch in a total daze, completely ineffective, while Zinedine Zidane and France just dismantle a deeply shaken Brazilian side to win 3-0. And the whole world was left asking the same exact question: why on earth did he play?
Now, what's really fascinating about Ronaldo's mindset in that moment is the sheer, desperate willpower it reveals. See, the medical tests at the hospital had thrown up absolutely nothing conclusive, so Ronaldo, carrying the weight of an entire nation on his 21-year-old shoulders, races back to the stadium, corners coach Mario Zagallo, and issues a dramatic, practically begging plea to let him play. And Zagallo, terrified of the collective trauma of benching their star player, caves. It was a fateful decision that hung over Ronaldo for years, a mystery that the media and even a full-blown parliamentary inquiry just wouldn't let him forget.
And as if the mental scars of '98 weren't enough, Ronaldo's very own body began to betray him. Because of his explosive speed and unique physical build, his joints were under immense strain. Just to put his recovery timeline into perspective, in November 1999, playing for Inter Milan, he ruptures a knee tendon. After surgery and months of recovery, he finally returns in April 2000 against Lazio. He steps onto the pitch, does one of his trademark stepovers, and under absolutely no challenge from a defender, he just collapses. His big comeback lasted exactly 6 minutes.
The details of that April night are honestly horrifying. Players on the pitch literally heard his tendon explode. As his physio described it, his kneecap slid entirely out of place, ending up in the middle of his thigh. It was sheer agony. Ronaldo was stretchered off, sobbing. And the media commentary? It was brutal and it was swift. Specialists openly doubted that a surgically repaired knee could ever withstand his explosive playing style again. The consensus was pretty much unanimous. The world's greatest player was finished.
But Ronaldo flat out refused to accept that narrative. What followed was a 15-month abyss of what he himself described as endless torture. We are talking about 9 hours of grueling, agonizing physical therapy every single day. The mental fortitude required to survive that day in and day out, while the entire world doubted him, is just unfathomable. But that torture's dedication is exactly what rebuilt his body, just in the nick of time for the 2002 World Cup in South Korea and Japan.
Okay, so Ronaldo actually makes the squad for 2002. He's scoring goals, Brazil is winning, but those lingering questions about his fitness are still completely dominating the headlines. And then, right before the semifinal against Turkey, he shows up with, well, the most objectively bizarre, wonderfully terrible haircut you've ever seen. He shaved his entire head except for this solitary, cartoonish little triangle right at the front, apparently inspired by a Brazilian cartoon character. So you have to ask, why would the biggest star on the planet do something so ridiculous? And this brilliantly illustrates the strategic genius of Ronaldo. It was a perfectly calculated decoy. He knew the media was obsessing over every slight limp, every single time he rubbed his leg. So he gave them something else to talk about. The moment he walked out of that dressing room, the narrative instantly shifted from his fragile knees to his ridiculous forehead. It worked like an absolute charm, allowing him the peace and quiet he desperately needed to focus entirely on his game.
And this psychological masterstroke paid off big time. He scored the winner in the semifinal, setting up a total dream of a final against Germany. Now, the hype for this match was absolutely astronomical. It was the classic unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. On one side, you've got Ronaldo, the explosive striker on a desperate quest for redemption. And on the other, Oliver Kahn, the terrifying, towering German goalkeeper who was having a legendary tournament. I mean, the guy had conceded only one single goal on the entire road to the final.
So the stage is set in Yokohama, Japan. The tension is incredibly palpable. And in the first half, the immovable object is winning. Kahn is an absolute brick wall. He shuts down Ronaldo in 3 separate one-on-one skirmishes. The German defense is structured, they're rigid, and Kahn just looks completely unbeatable. As the teams head into halftime locked at 0-0, you can almost feel those ghosts of 1998 creeping right back in. Was Ronaldo about to be denied on the ultimate stage once again?
But then comes the 67th minute, the exact moment the armor finally cracks. Let's break down how this happens, step by step. It starts with Ronaldo winning the ball in midfield. He feeds it to Rivaldo, who strikes this low, firm shot. Honestly, it's the kind of shot Kahn has saved 100 times this tournament, but this time, Kahn uncharacteristically spills it. The ball bounces loose, and before Kahn can even scramble to his feet, Ronaldo reads the play perfectly, pounces on the rebound, and blasts it into the net. 1-0 Brazil.
The absolute crushing dread Kahn felt in that moment is so clear. The best goalkeeper in the world, having a near-perfect tournament, makes one singular error, and he knows instantly that he's just handed redemption directly to the most lethal striker on earth. There's just no coming back from it. The stadium absolutely erupted, and Kahn was left to lament a mistake that he knew would haunt him forever.
Let's move to how this momentum builds, because 12 minutes later, Brazil puts the final nail in the coffin with a breathtaking piece of team play. Kleberson surges forward on this blistering run, outnumbering the German defense. He crosses it to Rivaldo, but Rivaldo does something pure magic. He executes a dummy, basically letting the ball run right through his legs. It's a complete leap of faith that totally fools the defense, leaving the ball rolling perfectly to Ronaldo, who calmly side-foots it right into the bottom corner. 2-0. Game, set, match.
And with that final goal, Ronaldo didn't just win the match, he stamped his absolute dominance on the record books. He finished the tournament with 8 goals, securing the Golden Boot. To put that into perspective for you, nobody had reached that number at a World Cup since 1970. That's over 3 decades. He proved to every single doctor, every journalist, and every last doubter that he wasn't just back, he was as lethal as he had ever been.
For Brazil, this victory meant absolutely everything. It brought them their historic 5th World Cup title, a record that, by the way, still stands today. But honestly, more importantly, it finally erased the dark, lingering collective trauma of that 1998 collapse in Paris. The entire nation could finally breathe again. The natural order of the footballing world had been restored, led by a team that just played with this breathtaking joy and ruthless efficiency.
When you hear Ronaldo reflect on it after the match, you truly grasp the immense emotional weight of his journey. Just 2 years prior, he was lying on a pitch in Rome, screaming in utter agony, with his knee completely destroyed. Now, he's crying tears of pure euphoria, holding the World Cup trophy in Japan, surrounded by the very medical staff who helped put him back together. He didn't just conquer Germany that night, he conquered his own broken body.
So the crucial point is this. Ronaldo's story isn't just about raw athletic talent. It is about an unyielding, stubborn refusal to quit when literally every odd is stacked against you. From the haunting, unsolved mystery of the '98 final, through the absolute torture of physical rehab, to literally outsmarting the world's media with a ridiculous haircut, he authored a redemption arc that straight up belongs in Hollywood. And it leaves us with a pretty provocative thought to carry forward. When your own defining setback arrives, will you let it break you, or will you use it to build your greatest comeback?